Hello my friends, how are you doing? Today I want to show you how to use segment anything to with prompts to select anything in a picture, and then also how to use it with the point editor. Both of that is really cool, but before that I want to tell you why I have a really big problem. So here's the story. I was flying with Etihad Airways and I had to change my flight because I was invited to a ComfUI conference in LA. So first of all, I informed them right away that my flight will change, and they said I had to call on the day of the flight for some strange reason. But we did that. Even though I couldn't call, my friend called them, explained the whole situation, and they charged him 529 euros and 50 cents as a fee. So I reached out to Etihad and they told me right away, the customer service told me I should have never had to pay this fee. This was on the 2nd June 2024. Since then, I reached out to them again and again and again. They always told me I should have never paid that money, I should get that money back, and for some inexplicable reason they have to call me, but they won't call me. So all of that is pretty absurd, and I just wanted you to know about that situation so you can make your own decisions. I might never fly with them again, but let's talk about some fun things like the beautiful workflows I built for you, and as a Patreon supporter you can download them right away. So the first one is using Florence to run. Up here you can also see the pack that I'm using. So this is ComfUI Tensor Op. And you can download that pack, of course, to have this node here. And you also have this node over here. So let's explain how that works. We are loading an image here, and we want to be able to use a prompt word to identify an object or a thing or a person inside of that image. So in this case, we want to just select, we want to mask out the hair, and we're going to use hair, of course, as the prompt word. As you can see here, this is masking out the hair with some growth of the mask, with some blur of the mask. I'm going to show you in a second how that works. So as I said, we have here download and load Florence 2 model. This is also automatically downloading the model for you, which is pretty nice. This goes into the Florence to run node here, where it loads the model. It also loads the text input. Now, usually this has a text input in here, but I changed this to an input node. You can do this by right click, and then down here you can see you have widget to input or input to widget. So you can change it to one of these inputs here. Just to remark that to you, the reason why I did that is because I built a little control center up here where we have the image preview of the loaded image. We have the segmentation prompt here, which is hair. And then we have the saved image, which is the export or output of that. And here we have the K-sampler prompt for that, and also the K-sampler denoise. I also made this as an external node for the K-sampler so that you can control it from here and have an easier way rather than going all the way jumping around through the workflow. Okay, so let's get back here to see what is happening. So first of all, we have here Florence to run, and what this basically does, you can see here we have a node for the coordinates. This is just creating a box that is telling you where that object is. So here you can see this is object number 1, which is hair, and it's in this location. This does not create a mask yet, so we still have to create the mask, and this is happening with Sam2 segmentation down here. So we are sending the data with the B box down here into Sam2 segmentation. We also have to load the Sam2 segmentation model. This is also download, so it's automatically downloading the model for you. And for this also we have to import the original image. Now this is creating a mask for us, but what is missing here in this node is any ability to grow the mask or make mask blur. So we have here this node here from the KJ nodes, grow mask with blur. Here I have the expand with the value, and we have the blur radius with the value. Play around with that to your taste, to whatever you want to do with that. And then we set the image, we sent the image over here First of all, I'm using fill mask area with telea. So this is basically replacing the shirt with a fill in at that location. So when you have a lower denoise, you can still use that area, but it doesn't have a 100% effect on that. So that can improve the image quality quite a bit if you do some in-painting. And this is then sent over here to VAE encode for in-painting. So this is using the pixels, including the first in-paint for telea, and then also the mask on top of that, going as a latent into our K-sampler. Now in the K-sampler, we have positive prompt, negative prompt. We have a model. In this case, I'm using 1.5 model, realistic vision, not an XL model, because it's just easier for most people to use the 1.5 models, even if you have an older CPU, and you probably also have this model on your drive. And then we are using the denoise. As I said, I have this outside. And then, of course, we need here a prompt conditioning for the control net. So up here, you can see with the gray point, with this dot here, I can expand this or I can make it small. So here we have the output from our positive prompt. This goes here into the apply control net node for the conditioning. And here I'm using load control net, where I have, of course, control net depth FP16 for the 1.5 model. And then here I'm using the depth anything node with the depth anything model that is coming from the ComfUI control net auxiliary pack. And this will create this depth map for you. But you can, of course, if you want to, also use another node for the pre-processing of the depth map image. So when we have done that, of course, you can see the image is going in here that is pre-processed from the original image. That goes here into our positive prompt. And that is then just rendering the image and then decoding it with the VAE decode, which replaces the hair here to some pink hair. And you can see how good that looks. There is no edge. There is no problem. This is really fitting to his head. Really beautiful. Let's go to the second workflow that I built for you. And this is not using a prompt. This is just using this little dot down here that you can set anywhere in the image. Now there's actually two ways to load that image. First of all, you can use the load image node and then put it in here. If you don't see that, you have to update your nodes. You have to update it by going over here on the manager. You have to click on update all to update all of the packs that you have installed. And as you can see here, this is coming from the KJ nodes pack. Pretty important. Now, the second way to load the image is by right-clicking into this area. If you don't see that area, you have to go down here and click on New Canvas to create that area. And one thing that's a little bit strange, but this is still in development for that node, is you have to manually set the size of the image here. So you have to type that in by hand. And then you can right-click. You can have here load image to load the image directly into the node. Now you see here you have two of these dots. And of course, the green dot is for the positive prompt, and then the red dot is for the negative prompt, and to select the area you don't want to have, basically. And these two coordinates that we have here, they are going to be sent out because, again, this is not creating the mask. This is just telling it what kind of part of the image to mask, but without a prompt. We just set it to that area, and it will try to figure out what that is. So again, we load here the Sam2 model, we load the image and then the two coordinates that we want to have. And this will create the mask for us. And again, I'm using here the Grow Mask with Blur node from the KJ Nodes pack with the same values. We get here the same mask, but we don't have to enter any kind of prompt. We can just like point at it with this point editor. This is what the reason for that is. And then the rest of the workflow is basically the same. The only difference here is that I have here my prompt as is and also the denoise as is. I didn't really change anything about that. In this case, I use 0.97, but basically if you have a depth map, you can set it to 1 because the depth map will define the shape of the object. And then in this case, I changed it to blue hair. As you can see, it works beautifully. It looks like it's his real hair. It actually has more detail than the Midjourney image that all of this is based off. So The whole process is pretty amazing. The AI art challenge images for this week. So the first one is for the topic music as part of an abstract and realistic landscape. And here we have these musical water drops that look like notes with a beautiful landscape in the background. You can almost hear the music floating through the landscape. That is really cool. The topic for Tuesday was lost civilizations. And here we have this really cool temple in the middle of the rainforest. We have two explorers that are finding that temple. This is kind of the scene of a video game or a movie that you want to see or play. All of that looks really amazing. The next image is super cute. It is characters inspired by music genres, and I do love cats. And here we have the coolest hip-hop cat of the block in the house. Look at that really cool guy here with a gold microphone and the big chains. This guy really knows what's hot. Next for Thursday, we have Battle of the Elements, and this again is really nice. Fire is fighting water, and they're almost looking like they are shaking hands, so maybe they finished the fight and made up afterwards, congratulated the winner or whatever, but it looks really amazing. The action is nice. It really reminds me of the Godzilla movies. Very cool. Next for Friday, we have Surreal Still Life, and this is a very, very nice image and also very high quality. Let's zoom in a little bit, look at these details. That is just amazing, where we have these deer with a lot of antlers that change into the branches of a tree with a lot of fruits on them. Very nice image. For Saturday, we have the samurai battle in the cherry blossom season, here with two dinosaurs that are swinging their katanas at each other. Very scenic battle here with a nice sunset in the background and these Japanese buildings, and of course the beautiful cherry blossoms. And for Sunday, we have animated food, because that's the day where you can lash out a little bit on some cake. And here the cake is a little bit angry because probably he's going to be eaten soon. The fork is already standing behind him. So that's what you want to have on Sunday, a good cake with some cherries on top. If you want to take part on these, join my Discord group where we have these challenges every day of the week, and maybe you're going to be in my next video. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more tutorials like that, and thank you very much for watching. Bye! Oh, you're still here. So this is the end screen. There's other stuff you can watch like this or that. It's really cool, and yeah, I hope I see you soon. Leave a like if you haven't yet, and well, yeah,